Alright, yeah, welcome back to some more Magic Arena, and today we're going back in for some historic Brawl. Gotta make the most of it while it's here, right? Whenever we've got the time to play it, at least. Been a bit strapped for time this week, so, you know, been struggling to get my historic Brawl in. But today we're going to be playing a hyper meme, one that we've played on the channel in the past. We're going to be playing the Booty Crew too. Arcades the Strategist, 4 mana in Bant for a 3/5 with Flying and Vigilance. Whenever a creature with Defender enters the battlefield under your control, you get to draw a card. Each creature you control with Defender assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power, and can attack as though it didn't have Defender. We have a couple of other abilities in here as well that allow us to do our commander's thing. We've got High Alert, Whatley to a certain extent, but not really, and Assault Formation. I believe that's it. I think that's it. Yeah, these also basically have the Arcades wording that we're looking for, which is each creature assigns combat damage to its toughness rather than its power, and defenders can attack. Assault Formation requires us to pay for that. High Alert does not. This one actually just gives everything damage equal to its toughness on our side, so Arcades attacks for 5. Whatley allows Arcades to attack for 5, but doesn't remove the defender problem, which means that our defenders can't attack with Whatley out, but they can still defend. You know, we can still have 1 mana 3/3s, 1 mana 3/3s, 1 mana 4/4s. Excavated Walls, basically the reason why I'm revisiting this deck, also because we haven't played it in a very long time, and I do like me some High Alert decks. Trying to think of all the really good cards that we've had recently. I think the last time we played this was in Jumpstart, I want to say, because we got Overgrown Battlement, so quite some time ago. There's been plenty of cards since then, things like Dusk and Dawn. 4 mana, destroy all creatures with power 3 or greater. We've got lots of 0-powered creatures, so the only thing it actually hits, inconveniently, is actually Arcades here. And then the Dawn side, for 5 mana, you can cast it from your graveyard to return all creature cards with power 2 or less from your graveyard to your hand, so every creature in our graveyard basically gets returned, which is kind of nice. We've got a dedicated sweeper in Slaughter the Strong. I'm sure most of you haven't really seen this card, unless you've seen High Alert Arcades decks in the past. 3 mana for a sorcery. Each player chooses any number of creatures they control with total power 4 or less, then sacrifices all other creatures they control. Usually this means our opponent just gets to keep 1 good creature, and then the rest are completely swept away. What it means for us is we get to keep everything. It's a one-sided board wipe for walls and defender-based strategies. Again, as I mentioned, the only real power we have is things like Arcades, or even Tetsuko, which allows creatures with power or toughness 1 or less to have unblockable, which means we can just swing in with our 2 mana 4/4s, our 2 mana 5/5s, all of that stuff, without much issue there as well. We can keep 3 and 4 off of our Slaughter the Strong, as an example, and then keep all of our walls in addition, because everything comes into play as a 0/4, which is nice. But yeah, I feel like that's mostly all I really have to describe for this deck. I will say this deck is a hyper meme. I would never, ever, ever suggest crafting this for Historic Brawl. It's very bad. I've already played today's games, and some of them went horrifically wrong. It's a bit of a glass cannon, because obviously we've got 4 cards in our deck that allow our deck to work, and if you interact with any of them, our deck does not work. So you can kind of imagine if our opponent just holds up and counter magic for the rest of the game, Arcades doesn't resolve, our walls just do nothing. That's basically the idea. If they've got removal for Arcades, we've got to wait to replay it, so we've got to command attacks our way back up there. It's a mess. That's all I'll say. But it's fun to play when it works, and that's why I'm going to be making today's video on it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. If you do, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. And without further ado, let's continue. This video is brought to you by the generous support of our wonderful patrons and channel members that you see here. If you'd like to support the channel and get access to cool content like sneak peeks, bonus videos, polls on future content, or access to a personal deck critique from myself every month, then hit the join button down below, or check out the Patreon link in the description. With all that said, let's get into the gameplay. Alright, another game with tier 1 nonsense. We're gonna keep this hand, I guess. It's not great. We have to fetch for a forest before we can do anything, but Guess we'll just play Overgrown Arch instead. Arboreal Grazer. Alright, so fetch for a forest. We're up against Kenrith, the Returned King. Usually it means we're playing against like Maze's End or Gates or something like that. It's not usually the go-to 5-color commander a lot of the time. I could go Ceruli Caretaker tapped breeding pool, I suppose. That means I don't have to shock myself. That could have some value. It's like now I can play Arch plus Swords next turn. Yeah, it's going to be Sanctums. So we're working against the clock here. Gleaming Barrier. So I think we're going to play Barrier. We're going to play Overgrown Arch. And then next turn, we've got a big swing with Arcades, unless our opponent holds up counter magic. Or sweeps the board. Sweeping the board could also be quite brutal. But I don't think they've got the colours for a good sweeper here. They are pretending to have counter magic. We can pay for Censor. Censor not required. We're going to Wall of Vines and tap Arcades, since Arcades is summoning sick anyway. Get a redraw out of this. Could get blown out with a board wipe. We're not really in the business of playing around that kind of thing, though. This is a meme deck, after all, and memes fall flat on their face with the slightest waft of a breeze. So if they have the land and then a 5-mana board wipe, then so be it. Otherwise, potentially game on. So we're digging for tower defense. It is the card that will just win us the game on the spot. Did not have it. I guess we're just holding open Swords. Opponent's at 2. Can sack to learn, except for you can't in Brawl. So that's kind of useless. Alright. So they need an answer to Arcades. There's nothing I can do about it if they have the answer. The 5-mana board wipe, for example. Takes them to 8. Yeah, we get a treasure. We're going to need to do it again, though. Because here comes Arcades. I have not seen Fumigate in a while. Cleansing Nova's usually just better, but them being a Sanctum deck, it does make sense that they don't want the board wipe that deals with artifacts and enchantments in its entirety. Alright, so Watchdog means that a board wipe will not kill Arcades. That's really huge for us, as well as the tower defense. But Arcades doesn't attack as a 5-powered creature here, unfortunately, so that won't do us too much good. But we are set up to win the game now. We're going to put this on white. Could just play the Gilded Goose. Don't know if it really serves a purpose, but I guess if we drew like a Huatley, then that's a little bit more attacking power in the air, I guess. We're really just planning to go wide around our opponent. So they draw 2 cards, discard 1, digging for that board wipe, or removal spell for Arcades. It's got to be an exile-based effect, so a Banishing Light or a Swords, anything of that sort. Anything that says destroy will not be enough. Well, it would probably keep them alive, since Battlement gets blocked by Llanowar Elves here. I guess we Swords it. So that's not entirely true. Archon. And Sanctum to attempt to get some 2/2s. No. No 2/2s for you, and that will be game. One's tapped out except for 1 green mana, which will not help them. Nor will that. And then we tower defense around them. We're currently attacking for 6, which is why they're not scooping, but they don't know we're attacking for a little bit more than that. They do need a negate, I guess. That would save them. So send it. Presenting lethal. Attacking for 6, except for we're not. We're actually attacking for 16. And that's the game. Sweet. Get wrecked, Sanctums. Get wrecked. Not so much the tier 1 nonsense that it usually is, though, but anything 5 colours usually degenerate and awful to play against anyway. But yeah, managed to get there. And that's a good thing. Next game. Ooh, Zimone, Quandrix Prodigy. We're in with a hand. A hand that functions. So we keep hands that function. It is our job. Alright, so Command Tower and then Ceruli Caretaker to lead. Our opponent's playing Zimone, Quandrix Prodigy. I actually have to check up on what this one does myself. Simic 1-2. You can pay 1 to put a land from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. And then 4, tap to draw a card. If you've got 8 or more cards, expensive divination instead. I'm not sure there's really any good reason to play that commander, if I'm being honest. But our opponent seems to think that there is. We're just going to go probably like Portcullis Vine, tap land here. We could get out Skyclave Cleric or even Overgrown Arch. I don't know if there's necessarily a reason to do that. I guess it's more aggressive, right? Yeah, don't have any of that. Let's get the gain life one out there, I suppose. Because if we draw a land, then we can play Arcades. We didn't get the land, but we did get our Skyclave here, so that's fine. I feel like we're just playing out Wall of Forgotten Pharaohs. Like, we're forfeiting the card draw here, but it's more aggression down the line, and our opponent has a very slow start here. I'm hoping to punish. So I can use this to gain 1 life. Okay. Alright, we got a Botanical Sanctum, which unfortunately means I can't pay for, like, sensors and whatnot, but we're gonna give it our best shot anyway, and hopefully we can dodge counter magic. We didn't say please. You know what? When you're right, you're right. Oh, there goes the lands we were hoping to top deck. If we had the Botanical Sanctum untapped, it wouldn't have made much difference there, interestingly enough. Alright. Well, we got 2 board wipes, so that's a thing. The mill is somewhat relevant, if not a little bit useless, considering there's nothing in there that the Dawn can actually be used with. Swords to Plowshares. We're just gonna pass the turn. This is what our deck does when it doesn't get Arcades on time. Cultivate. All the lands. How much do you want to bet our opponent is playing all of the big spells that nobody likes? I'm getting that impression. We're constantly tapping out for, or holding up counter magic. I could do a sack to draw here. It's probably best that I do. Yeah, there we go. Because if I don't play Arcades this turn, I don't think I'm ever playing Arcades. Ooh, a desert. Tap the Arch. We're in, boys! Let's go! Alright. Did they let it resolve? Because they have Agent of Treachery. Nope. They have Introduction to Annihilation, though. High Alert. That's not a card our opponent wants us drawing. So that's nice. I think we just slap that down right now and see if we can get in for a little bit of damage here. We can pay for conditional counter spells, but they have a negate. Confirmed. All the cards nobody likes. Usually when you play against Simic tempo, it's like Uro. But opponent on that Zimone life, I guess. Ruin Crab. We actually like that because Dawn will do us some good. I'm gonna try and take Z-Mount out of the picture. I don't really care about it all that much, but like if it baits out a counterspell, then we're happy. Or if it gets them to tap out to play it again. Alright, let's try again. Whoa, a counterspell. Didn't see that one coming. Back to the command zone. Arcades cost 10 now. There's an Ashaya. Mill me, please. Thank you. Where's all my walls? Give me my walls. Oh, there they are. Alright, ping you. Land? Nope. I think we're just gonna dusk here and then play Wall of Runes. Get rid of the Ashaya so the Ruin Crab's not doing naughty things. Well, we don't need that, but I'm gonna bottom it. Mostly because I like to potentially play Arcades next turn. I'm hoping that might be a thing that we get to do. Alright. Land. Mills. Ah, Salt Formation and the means in which to get it back. That's a stinger. Opponent draws 2 counterspells. The deck so far hasn't exactly done anything else, so forgive me for thinking that might be the case. A Snarl.
Sorry, I don't know that one.
No, neither do anyone. Alright, land. Arcades. Back in the game, baby. Eureka moment. Okay. Landed to play. Mills. We're at 26. You get to scry. To the bottom. That's a good sign. Alright, hit you for 8. Blocks with the Ruin Crab. Lovely. At this point, I'd imagine most of their spells... Oh, come on. I don't have words to describe this situation. It's just everything that ruins Magic is in this deck. I'm just going to move on to the next one before I get upset. So, let's do that. Alrighty then, we've technically got a 3-lander here, 4-lander actually, I guess, with a Abundant Harvest, so yeah, we want to take this hand. I don't know if we necessarily want to play Abundant Harvest, though, for land. We've got the 3 here, we could just naturally draw one, and then this could be non-land, it could get us our High Alert or something like that we might actually need. So maybe, like, Skyclave Cleric is actually the play. I'm not in a huge rush to pick land, so... Scrabbling Claws. Let's get this Sanctum down. Now that we've drawn our 4th land, I'm going to go Excavated Wall, and then we'll go non-land with Abundant Harvest. Watchdog's not bad. Exile my graveyard, sure. The Shadow Spear. So let's go Island, Watchdog, Wall of Mist. We're setting up for a good Arcades attack, but we're not setting up in such a way where we can protect Arcades, and that's something to consider. Maybe we want to play Arcades on 5 instead. So we've got the Watchdog. We've certainly got the potential to do that, and I'm kind of into that idea, so... yeah. Let's do that. No huge rush to really just get blown out by a single destroy effect. They'll have to have exile. And we're going to make them have it. So, 3 points of life here, yeah. I blocked this with my Wall of Mist. I doubt they've really got a pump spell. Oh, they're just going to let it go. Interesting. Alright. We also get to play around Dwari's Disruption as well, if that's a card that they're going to be running. Put this on green. Here comes Arcades. Resolves. And yeah, just send in the team here. I probably shouldn't have sent in the Watchdog. All things considered. Because that means that I'm gonna lose it and then I can't protect my Arcades. So that was a mistake that did not get punished, which is nice. Okay. Sack to draw, trying to find the Arcades answer. They don't have double black, so that could be a big indicator as to what they're digging for. Maybe they have the double black removal. Reclamation Sage kills Excavated Wall. Is there a world where I protect this? Probably not. No, I think we've got to protect the queen here. Huatli. That means Arcades attacks for 5. That's quite nice. We can also go Birth of Meletus, grab a Plains here. We should have one in the deck. We do. And then we can play Huatli, playing around Dwari's Disruption, even though we don't need to. And we still have the mana for the Watchdog as well, so we're in a really nice spot. Birth of Meletus is going to make us a 0-4. Got Lethal in the air. So, what do they need? Shadow's Verdict won't do it. Oh no, Shadow's Verdict gets rid of Planeswalkers, right? Maelstrom Pulse. Indestructible, please. Okay. Oh, it loses Indestructible, of course. Yeah, that's a thing. But Arcades is coming back. Can't attack here, otherwise you're dead. Oh no, you're not dead. I'm so bad today. I don't know why I can just not read my cards. It's a wild thing, but... Swing for 5, put you to 2. Reading's hard, guys. That's why they get children to learn to do it. So it takes years and years of practice. And I haven't quite mastered it yet. as is clearly indicated by the several years of punts on this channel. Gaia's Blessing, shuffle the removal back into the deck. It's a good sign. And... block. Wondrix Cultivator, and that should be game. Yeah, I don't want to risk the Arcades dying to something weird that I'm not thinking of when I have the ability to attack for 5 in the air with the Arcades. They have no protection here. And yeah, we can send it. Permanents lose Hexproof and Indestructible. That so rarely comes up, so I feel like you should all forgive me for for falling for that little trick. That has maybe been used against me twice in my entire life, that time included. I don't honestly remember a single time it being relevant, but yeah, it's a thing, all right. All right, well, next game. Okay, we go first. We don't have green mana for the Abundant Harvest. But we do have turn 1 Novice Knight into Birth and Meletus, grab another Plains. Can make another Novice Knight with a Glasspool Mimic or something like that. And we've got Dusk as well to fire off on our opponent's commander, which is kind of nice. I'm going to take it. It's risky. But I think we could be okay. Hello. Turn 1 Llanowar Elves. Yeah, please don't punish me, Magic the Gathering. The matchmaking's been punishing enough. Only one Plains of the deck, eh? That's a deck building issue right there. Alright. Well, we're going to play the Mimic down, because if we get a green source, we can play Arcades into this. Can also play High Alert off of it as well, so that's a nice top deck. Here's Ura. Land into play, and dead. Wow, what a bad card, it just dies. How weird. Yeah, that's a bad draw. Come on, green sauce. Please don't punish me. Solemn. Grabs the land, so Yarok can come down. I'm being punished, and I don't know why. Okay. Next turn. Cavalier. It's a good card. Makes my Dusk look terrible. Yeah, if Cavalier dies, they get back a Noxious Gear Hulk that kills my Arcades. Wahey! Look at that. Alright. Arcades in. You are not unblockable, so we will hold you back. And tell me how we lose. Show me. This is it. This is our moment. Yarok down. Huh. We didn't lose. Kabira takedown. Deal damage equal to the number of creatures you control to target creature or planeswalker. So we can kill the Yarok with that. That's nice. We're going to go with Wall of Blossoms first. Maybe we'll find an alternative use for it. Double draw. Balaged Recovery. Riptide Turtle. Yeah, kill Yarok. Cavalier has Reach, so we won't be getting in with that. Do I want the Balaged Recovery? If I drew a land, I can Balaged the Kabira takedown and play it again. Yeah, I think we just go unblockable team in. And pass. Oof, owie. Goodbye, Arcades. That buys our opponent a fair bit of time, because we did not have the spare mana here. I guess that's why I get punished for the Kabira takedown. I'm going to go land here. This means that we've got Arcades next turn. Castle Gearenbrig. Can also flash in the Riptide Turtle, I suppose, as well. Is this instant speed? It is. Might go grab that now. Although we can't really use it, so it's hard to say whether or not that's even useful. I think I'll hold the Balaged Recovery. Let's just play Overgrown Arch so we've got more attacking force next turn. And get in with our Tetsuko here. We can pretend to have counter magic. We can flash in the Riptide Turtle. And then if our opponent doesn't have an answer to Arcades, we just win the game. We could wait a turn as well to potentially hold up and Resolute Watchdog. That might be worth doing. Is it? I don't good game, people. Now I do. Alright. I was waiting for Ugin the Spirit Dragon, minus, I win, haha, good game, GG, ha ha ha. That's usually why I don't like Ugin the Spirit Dragon, because that's what it feels like every time it happens. Even when your board states gets devastated, at least you're left with a big old Planeswalker that kills everything. God, yeah. Ugin just makes me salty, it's why I get housebanned. It just improves the game. I just wish Wizards would see that the game is just much better without it existing. But I guess at least it's rotating next, isn't it, in the fall? So at least Standard can do without it, so that's cool. Anyway, next game. Ooh, Zakama. This is going to be an interesting matchup, because I think our opponent's probably not going to be running too much early game removal, but they are going to be ramping into an excessive amount of damage, so we've got to be aware of that. This hand is... it's fine. Turn 1, Abundant Harvest or Caretaker. I'm not sure which one we want just yet. Those are the Dinosaur Jumpstart lands as well. That's cute. I think we're going Caretaker. Caretaker means I can play more of my 1-drops out next turn. Got 3 lands, so Abundant Harvest might be playing for land here. Allosaurus Shepherd makes elves into dinosaurs. Good to know. So we could do all 3 of these, or we could do Wall of Mist and one of these. All 3 of these seems to be a better idea, I'd say. I should have actually not played Wall of Ruins here, because I'm going to be going for Abundant Harvest on land, now that I think about it, because I want to be able to play Arcades next turn off the Caretaker. So, like, I'm just gonna... ugh. Never mind. I need a land that makes Glacial Fortress untapped. I guess it doesn't matter, actually. No, because Pathway will get me there. So let's have this on... let's have this on white. I don't think it matters at all, really, but... let's go Excavated Wall down, and then swing for 4. Yeah, I'm putting it on white mostly because, like, Slaughter the Strong is a thing I could be playing. Prism Realm, the Arcades, so just enough removal for our opponent. All they need is 1 removal spell and our deck falls flat. Who saw that coming? Not me. Oh, and Tower Defense as well. Okay, so we got Gleaming Barrier. And let's go Wall of Mist. Tap the Excavated Wall, I suppose. We need a land off the top, and we can play our Arcades again and start swinging. Nissa, who ruins the game.
I will protect the virtue of this world. Rise, my elemental
Yeah.
friend.
Dusk. That can destroy some lands. They're already at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if I don't Dusk here, they have Zakama. Destroy artifact or enchantment that destroys 2 of my walls. 3 damage to target creature. I can't let them have any of that. I've got to hope that actually does a thing. Let's tap the excavated wall, just in case there's a Zakama me anyway. So this is 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, they've got it anyway. Unless they don't want to risk their forest, but I don't know why they wouldn't. Yeah. So, as predicted, just enough ramp to beat me. They only needed a single removal spell and my entire game plan fell flat. Hopefully this is a good example of why you shouldn't be playing Arcades and why I do it so you don't have to. Interesting. That token allows me to play Arcades. Okay. Well, as does that. So, what are we doing here? I only get 1 mana, unfortunately, so like there's no block here that allows me to kill Zakama. And then they get the double tap with the Zakama to kill my Arcades. So, I mean, I just send it at Nissa because that's all I really can do at this point. Got to block with something else, though. Silver Lining, I suppose. Yeah. There's no world where Arcades lives here. Which means he's now unaffordable. So I need High Alert into unblock tower defense. But again, why would you not just block? Interesting. And taps a mountain. Swings for 9. It's got vigilance, so you might as well. Take it. It's not the line of play I was expecting, but it's the one we get. So I'll attack my opponent and see how this goes. Arcades lives. That dies. That dies. Okay. Could have been worse. Runus. Does that make it considerably worse? It might. I really want Slaughter the Strong. That's the card I want right now. Untaps a pathway. So this is 18, and unfortunately the way this works out, they both have... Oh, never mind. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Yeah, I'm just dead. I was going to say, they can ping my Arcades and I'm dead that way, but yeah, the ramp's enough anyway, so... Yep, a single removal spell killed me there. And yeah, couldn't quite come back from it. GG? Okay, we're in. We've got a 3-lander with no white mana, but we don't really require it until turn 4 anyway. No 1-mana play, so we can play the Glasspool Mimic Tats. I'll keep this one. It's going to need some help, but it can get there. So tap land, say go. Our opponent's playing Ajani, the Great-Hearted. 4 mana, 5 loyalty. Creatures you control have vigilance. You can tick up to gain 3. And then you can -2 to put a counter on each creature you control and a loyalty counter on each other planeswalker you control. An interesting one for sure. Let's just go Wall of Mist here. Actually, I should have gone Overgrown Battlement. That's a mistake. For some reason, I just blacked out and thought I didn't have green mana. It's white mana I'm missing, not green. Yeah, that would have been the play. It would allow me to get more things in play. Oh well. Live and learn. Let's get... I don't think we got double blue or double green in this deck, so it doesn't really matter. I'll go with the blue, since we got more blue cards in our hand, I guess, and the green's already covered by the Overgrown Battlement here. So it looks like they're a +1/+1 counters deck. I would really love a white source off the top. It's all I've ever wanted. It would be a dream. And I'm just going to have to keep dreaming. Okay, so let's go Wall of Vines, Crashing Drawbridge, Suspicious Bookcase. We have lots of mana for command attacks, so that's cool. I'm going to imagine Ajani comes down and minuses here, maybe. But if they want to hold up and like Swords to Plowshares or any other removal for Arcades, then that will be why the Ajani doesn't come down here. Because otherwise, I mean, this is a combo. Linden. Alright. And the Ozolith. Yeah, setup turn makes sense. This attack makes a minimal amount of sense. Like, if you're going to do that, why not attack him with the Honor Troll? Oof, owie. Balaged Recovery. Yeah, none of my cards actually do anything here. So we're just going to play the Phantasm, pass the turn. We've got a very good attack if we ever draw a white source. We've also got a huge blowout on our minds as well if our opponent ever decides they want to be a board wipe deck. This is absolutely where Ajani comes down and minuses. It makes no sense not to at this point. Oh. No sense it will continue to make, I suppose. Speaker. 7 more life than you start in life total. So in standard it's 27. Not so much in this case. So lots of free attacks. Again, I don't know why the Honor Troll is so afraid of getting in. There we go. Charge! Turtle! Alright. Block you, block you, block you. Take no damage. Come on, white sauce. Our opponent's got to play the game. Can we? Yes! Alright. And this is the attack of our dreams right here. Send it. From 31. Back down. We do lose a couple of things here, that's fine. Honestly, for the sake of the heavy amount of regression, I think it's worth it. And in fact, if you got 25 or more life, doesn't that just die? Because you're at 4. It just dies anyway. Cool. We're at 23. I don't foresee a world where we die from here. We can pay the command attacks because of the battlement. So our opponent's probably just dead. Yay! Okay. Well, we had a different kind of challenge there. It wasn't our opponent's skill or top decking power, it was actually our top decking power. We just needed to find a white source, and once we got there, our opponent could do nothing about it. An interesting deck from them, though. I do kind of like it. Lots of things that basically already get their buff just by playing Brawl in general. yeah, it's an interesting one. They had all the right cards, they just didn't have the removal, and the removal really wouldn't have made much of a difference because the battlement's producing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana right here. So we've got 10 mana total. Arcades cost 6, then 8, then 10, so we've got several occasions of replaying him over and over and over again, and yeah, our opponent just needs a sweeper, a Settler Wreckage, or something like that. But again, Settler Wreckage just helps me pay for the command attack, so they lose there as well. Either way, that's going to do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed. Again, I hope I've stressed enough, do not craft this deck, it's very bad. But hopefully you've enjoyed it nonetheless. That's hopefully what I do here, is I play bad decks so you don't have to, and you can enjoy them for the short amount of joy that you can get out of them. Hopefully I've captured that in today's video. But yeah, like and subscribe if you did enjoy. Make sure to leave a comment down below, as always, to feed the old algorithm goblins. And yeah, take care guys, have a wonderful night.